When an eagle unexpectedly swooped down and carried away a young boy, the boy's grandparents were left in shock and terror. However, the surprising reason behind the bird's actions will leave you astounded. Leon was a man whose family had resided in the picturesque mountainous region of Northern America for generations. They had lived amidst the green meadows, towering cliffs, and mighty mountains, and Leon himself was born and raised there. Over the years, he had engaged in farming and herding various animals, and now he was eagerly anticipating the arrival of his first grandchild. Leon's son was married and expecting a child, and Leon couldn't have been more excited to become a grandfather. He envisioned introducing the baby to the flock of sheep he cared for and sharing the wonders of their beautiful surroundings. The thought of the baby delighting in the fluffy, bleating sheep brought a smile to his face. As the sun began to set, Leon realized it was time to gather his sheep safely back to their pen, mindful of the lurking threat of wolves in the mountains. With his son and faithful dog, he herded the sheep in the direction they needed to go, ensuring none were left behind. The sheep were their source of income, a matter of increased importance with the baby on the way. One day, Leon decided to break away from his monotonous routine. His days had become repetitive, even his meals, with one exception. Leon had a craving for hare, a taste he hadn't indulged in for years. He rose early, loaded his equipment, and set off to hunt the hares and rabbits residing in the foothills of the mountains. Catching one of these animals for a change would be a delightful treat. As he embarked on his trek, the morning sun had barely risen, but the air was already warming up, promising another beautiful day. While walking, he heard an unusual sound emanating from the base of a cliff, drawing him towards it. To his astonishment, he discovered a magnificent eagle, larger and more majestic than any he had ever seen. Yet it was in distress, crying out in pain. The eagle appeared to have injured its wing and failed in its attempts to fly away. Leon wondered if the injury had occurred during a skirmish with other animals. Regardless of the cause, he felt compelled to help the suffering bird. Gently, Leon wrapped his jacket around the eagle, which ceased struggling and looked at him as if seeking his assistance. He carried the injured bird back to his home, surprised by its weight and size, which had not been evident when it soared high in the sky. Upon returning home, Leon instructed his son to take the sheep out to the fields. Then he tended to the eagle's wounded wing, cleaning and bandaging it with care. He even provided the eagle with food to sustain its strength. Leon's intention was never to keep the eagle permanently. He simply wanted to ensure its recovery and readiness for release into the wild. The eagle seemed to understand his intentions and appreciated his efforts. When the time came for the eagle to be fully healed and set free, Leon and his family gathered outside to witness the magnificent bird take flight back towards the mountains from whence it had come. However, this wasn't the last they saw of the eagle. It returned to their home every few days, even perching in the field near Leon as he watched over his sheep. An unlikely friendship blossomed from a simple act of kindness. 10 months later, Leon and his family celebrated the arrival of a grandchild, a baby boy named Tony. Born in the family home, Tony was a strong and beautiful child. One of the most remarkable moments on the day of his birth was the eagle's presence, observing the baby with curiosity. As Leon held Tony, the eagle squawked before taking flight, circling happily in the air. The family hosted a grand gathering to celebrate Tony's birth, with both immediate and extended family in attendance, bringing food, gifts, and overwhelming joy. While taking a moment to step outside for fresh air, Leon heard a familiar sound, the eagle. It had returned, landing just a few feet away from him, exhibiting unusual behavior by chirping and flapping its wings sporadically. Puzzled, Leon wondered if the eagle wanted to see the baby, so he went inside to fetch Tony. However, as he returned outside with the infant, the eagle suddenly flapped its wings and, in an unexpected turn of events, grasped Tony by his tiny shoulders, flying away with him. Leon was shocked and rooted to the spot, stunned by the eagle's actions. Panic set in as the entire family rushed after the bird, fearing for Tony's safety. They were terrified the eagle might drop the child, which could have disastrous consequences. As the family chased the eagle, an unexpected rumble behind them caught their attention. They turned to see an avalanche descending from the towering cliff above their home. Massive boulders crashed down, some demolishing their house as though it were made of paper. The family watched in speechless shock. In that critical moment, the eagle returned with Tony, gently lowering him to the ground before hopping back a few feet. Tony was quickly retrieved by his parents, and as the family rejoiced over the baby's safety, Leon approached the eagle, realizing that somehow the eagle had known about the impending landslide and had saved the child. Leon couldn't express enough gratitude to the bird. Perhaps this was the eagle's way of repaying Leon for his earlier act of kindness. While the true reason remained a mystery, what was certain was that the eagle had not only saved Tony's life but the lives of everyone in the family. For that, they would be eternally grateful.